This video is brought to you by bandshirtsusa.com.
Hey everyone, it's Chaz. I've gotten a lot of requests from bands asking me to explain what we do for our live setup. Now, as some of you already know, our band, Bloodbath and Beyond, doesn't use any amplifiers or speaker cabinets on stage, and we all wear in-ear monitors. Now, you'd think that this would cost too much to be feasible for most local bands, but what if I told you that our entire in-ear monitor system costs less than $100 per person, and that the total cost of everything in this rack is less than $1,000. Let's check it out.
So first of all, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook. Link is in the description. We have a lot of videos planned for the channel that you might find interesting.
So here's a quick overview. Every product that I mentioned will be linked in the description. Our three guitarists, yes, three, all use amp sims on stage and go direct to front of house with a few steps in between. I'm going to start with the in-ear monitors because that's what people request the most, and then I'll go over the rest of the setup in a future video.
Basically, for any in-ear monitor setup, you'll need four components: an output signal, the sound that you want to hear, a transmitter to send the signal into the air, a receiver to catch the signal from on stage, and an earpiece so you can hear it. Let's take a look at how we accomplish each step. Alright, I've flipped the rack around to show the back because that's where we keep our transmitters. Here's what's going on. We have a mixer specifically for our in-ear monitors. I'll go into detail about this in the next video, but basically it shows we run our own monitor mixes and the venue sound engineer runs the main mix. Our mixer has 6 auxiliary outputs. By the way, I'm up here, hi. The mixer has 6 auxiliary outputs that use 1/4-inch cables. However many separate mixes you want, that's how many outputs you'll need. Just about all mixers will have at least 2. Some will have 4, 6 is a little less common. Just make sure you have enough outputs to fit your needs. Now, I want to mention here that you don't actually need a mixer to accomplish this task, especially if you're only doing it for one person. You can use pretty much anything for an output signal. For example, you can plug into an aux output on the venue's mixer, with the venue's permission, of course. You can plug into an output on the floor monitors on stage if they have speaker or line outs. You could also use the line out or headphone jack on something you have on stage, like a guitar amp or an effects processor. Buying a mixer is not required to get a usable in-ear signal. Okay, now for the main part of our in-ear setup. You'll take the cable from the output mix, and you'll send it to one of these transmitters. These are SignStech ST200 FM transmitters, which go for about $40 each. They have a maximum power output of 2 watts, which is completely unnecessary and in some jurisdictions, illegal. I keep them on half power, which is more than enough for most venues. You can run off the lithium-ion battery that's included or use USB power. As you can see in our rack, it might be a little hard to see, I'll just take a picture of it, but in our rack we have a 7-port USB hub that we use to power the transmitters. But it isn't required and you can just run it off the battery. Just make sure to charge it before the show. I've made that mistake before. By the way, these transmitters come in a box with a bunch of useful adapters and cables, and even a lapel mic. So you can even use that to send signal to the transmitter as a last resort. Kind of put the lapel mic on, keep the transmitter in your pocket, which works just fine since it has a lock button on it. For our purposes though, since our mixer uses 1/4-inch aux outputs and the transmitters use 1/8-inch input jacks, if your setup is similar, you'll need to either use an adapter or buy 1/4-inch to 1/8-inch cables like we did. Those cables, like everything else, are linked in the description. One useful feature of these transmitters is that even though they're FM, they actually go below the FM spectrum, as low as 70 megahertz. This fact will come in handy in just a moment. So we have our signal, we have the transmitter. How do we receive the signal? This is the Eton Mini, a multiband portable radio. It retails for about $30 and it runs on 2 AAA batteries which last for days. You don't have to use this radio, really any radio will work, but I chose this one for a couple of reasons. First, it's thin and small, so while you're performing, you just keep it in your back pocket. Second, it has a lock button, which is really important when you're on stage. You don't want to accidentally press buttons in your pocket and suddenly you're being blasted by white noise mid-song, or even worse, the bass player's mix. And the third reason, it goes below the FM spectrum, just like the transmitters. Let me show you why that's important. Most standard wireless systems use the UHF frequency band, but this one uses regular FM frequencies. It brings the cost way down, but the problem is, no matter where you live, there's probably at least one, if not dozens, of major radio stations also using FM frequencies. But this isn't a problem for us, because standard consumer radios only go down to 87.9 megahertz, and pretty much all radio stations broadcast on 88.1 megahertz and above. These radios go all the way down to 87.0 megahertz, where there's no radio interference. So for example, our 4 transmitters are set to 87.0, 87.2, 87.4, and 87.6. Because we're within a range of frequencies that radio stations never use, we don't get any radio interference while using our in-ear monitors. Cut that camera back to me. Okay, now the last step, an earpiece. In this case, any set of earbuds will work, but you're better off finding something specifically designed for loud environments. I'll give you 2 suggestions, but again, go with whatever works best for you. The whole band used to use these Etymotic MC5 in-ear monitors. They cost $60, the filters inside need to be replaced maybe once a year, and the foam earbuds wear out pretty quickly and need to be replaced almost monthly, although they do come with a few other earbud attachments to try. Replacing the foam earbuds isn't super expensive, but it can get annoying. So we all switched over to these $20 ZST monitors. The sound isn't that much different, they fit over your ear, the foam lasts longer, and it's cheaper. So for us, it made sense to switch. Plus, if you're adding a new person to the band, or you just want to try this out to see how it works, $20 is a little easier to deal with than $60. The only problem for us with the ZSTs was Zach hated them. They kept falling out of his ears while he was playing drums, so he still uses the Etymotic monitors and the rest of us use the cheaper ZSTs. So that's it. You now have all the info you need to get started with your own in-ear monitor setup for less than $100. Or $130 if you're a princess like Zach. The next video will be about the rest of our live setup and how we give everyone in the band their own monitor mixes with the click track, and how we get the entire band on stage and ready to play in under 5 minutes. If you're in a band and you want an easy, free way to sell your band merch online, please check out our website, bandshirtsusa.com, also known as shirthaven.com. Here's how it works. You can have as many different t-shirt, tank top, and accessory designs as you want. Any number of colors, any style, men's, women's, toddlers, you name it. We'll set up all of your products and put them on the website for free. Just tell your fans about your merch, and every time someone buys one of your items, we pay you directly. You can even buy shirts to sell at shows, starting at less than $10 with no minimum purchase. You get a secure website to sell your merch, your fans get a huge selection of items with free shipping on all US orders, and they'll probably be more likely to buy knowing that a bunch of their favorite local bands are there on the same website. So go to bandshirtsusa.com or message Bloodbath & Beyond on Facebook to get started with your free band merch today. I'm Chaz from Bloodbath & Beyond. Thanks for watching.